Okie dokie. So I have the amazing Jem here. Thank you so much for joining me. Jem has been in my Regenerate program for 1 month now, and I can assure you it's the quickest month I think I've ever had. We've had lots of laughs, lots of giggles, and lots of wins along the way. So thank you so much, Jem, for coming on. I very much appreciate it. And I just want to ask you about your journey and how you felt in the last 4 weeks or 5 weeks it's been now. So I'd like to just start off and paint a little bit of a picture. Where were you? What were you struggling with before we met or when we first started talking?
Oh, well, a few years ago, I went on a serious health kick. And then, of course, lockdown and different relationships threw it all out the window. So my food wasn't as good as it had been. My fitness wasn't as good as it had been. And without noticing it, I was surviving on not a lot of sleep. And that didn't really come out until we started talking, actually. I didn't notice that was something that I needed to work on until you started questioning me about it. I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. I only get 5 hours most nights. And I always wake up and I'm always low energy. So that didn't come out till in the form because I didn't know it was a problem until we started speaking. But I remember even on like the consultation call, even before you'd agreed to take me on and we started working together, you already gave me some really helpful top tips, which really changed things for me around snacking and kind of going for food and how to, up my protein. And so I'm really grateful from the first phone call. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're most welcome. You're most welcome. Yeah, it's funny that you say that because we were talking and when I brought you into the Regenerate program, sleep wasn't even mentioned.
Yeah.
And then it came up in like our first or second session. And like you said, you were just about surviving on 5 hours sleep, which to me just sounds absolutely insane. I have no idea how you were living and moving and breathing and doing these incredible talks that you do up and down the country. And being able to just about do that on 5 hours sleep. But like you said, some small amendments, some small adjustments. And I mean, how is it different? How's your sleep different now?
Well, when you made the first suggestions, I didn't really think it would make any difference because I was kind of felt I was doing everything. But even just the first night of making those changes, super simple, super easy to apply changes. Like the first night, 7 hours straight through. I can't remember that for years.
It's incredible.
And it has been a bit up and down, but generally I know that if I don't do your recommendations and follow your suggestions, then I don't get a good night's sleep. It's obvious.
Yeah, and you know what? It's just a matter of catching ourselves before we fall into the old habits that we've had. They have been utilized as a surviving mechanism, and unfortunately now we've realized that it wasn't right. It wasn't what we needed. So yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad that those just simple things, simple suggestions that I'm hoping weren't too invasive into your lifestyle were able to help with your sleep.
That was one of my concerns with doing the coaching is I'm so busy. I didn't want another thing on the to-do list, and everything that you suggested was just really easy for me to slide into what I was already doing, actually. It's like you chose things that really just suited me and fitted me. And it was never hard work. It was never hard work. And I think you really got my mindset as well around, how I kind of achieve things. So thanks for that.
No, you're most welcome. You're the one creating some amazing momentum in your health journey. Incredible. So well done to you.
And look, the bags under my eyes are pretty much gone. They're not grey anymore.
And how does that make you feel? I mean,
really brilliant. I feel super amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So what other things had you tried before we started working together to kind of shift the tiny bit of extra weight that you mentioned, but to more shift the mindset and the way that you looked at yourself?
Well, I'd never done any coaching like this. I had a personal trainer, but I just found that really hard work, actually. And there was still aspects of that they weren't plant-based, they weren't vegan. They weren't as supportive on WhatsApp, and it was. I noticed that I dropped down to a weight and a size that I was really happy with, but just to keep it going was a lot. And then, of course, as soon as I stopped doing it, as soon as I cheated, then I just kind of sprung back to the previous weight. But I'd always done lots under my own steam, researching around veganism and nutrition and protein and and water intake and all the rest of that. But I've just been doing it myself, and because I work for myself and I'm a coach, so I'm coaching other people all the time. I just needed someone to hold me accountable, like, because I needed someone to kind of, pull me up a bit.
Yeah.
I don't have the discipline because I'm
Yeah.
so busy looking after everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all just under my own steam, which means that you can get in really good habits for a while, but then when you drop off, then you drop off, and it could be really difficult to get back into. So I
Absolutely.
just met you at the end of summer where I've been doing all my traveling and retreats and talks. So I'd really fallen off the wagon because I couldn't have a juicer in my motorhome, and but so I found you at just the right time to like get me straight back on.
Perfect timing. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And I'd like to know now, what goals have you managed to kick this month?
Oh, I'm really enjoying sleeping. I'm really enjoying sleeping.
I enjoy sleeping too, but I can only imagine how nice it feels to get a good 8 hours sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had a few really good solid night sleeps, so that's been really beautiful. I've just been really more aware of my water intake as well, and generally more energy, and also noticing that when I do travel, how can I incorporate the things that I know are good for me whilst I am traveling. So,
Yeah.
taking organic veg to my friend's house and make sure that she dusts off her juicer before I arrive, and getting the friends that I'm visiting involved in yoga and things like that. That's been super, super helpful for me. Thank you.
Absolutely. And like we mentioned, like you've got a very, very busy lifestyle, right? Even just kind of our communication has been very slim to none because we're both busy, but you are such a busy lady, and you have so many different avenues, you're doing so much. So it's incredible that you've been able to make this progress and sleep more, which has had a knock-on effect to your health, and keep up with the same lifestyle. And I find a lot of people come into or approach the health world thinking that they have to change everything. Would you say that's the case?
No, I didn't. I just made one or two tweaks, a few tweaks that were really easy to apply to what was going on. And I did really appreciate your WhatsApp messages now and then. And I'm also really appreciated that you let
I'm
me
quite a
ignore
pest,
them.
just in case anyone.
Say that again.
I'm quite a pest, just in case anyone's listening.
She is quite a pest, so I ignored her, but she still kept coming. And but it was really helpful because I was busy, but it was like, oh yeah, that thing, thanks. Like it just kept it on the agenda for me. When I was too busy to reply, I was like, oh yeah. And it was just like, oh, bloody Bianca's bothering me again. I need to drink some water.
Do you know what? No hard feelings, don't worry.
No, it was perfect.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So, I think you mentioned it there a little bit, but what made this program work for you? What made it easier?
I just really fitted in with my lifestyle, actually, and that it was things that were simple, accessible. It wasn't expensive, like the things you were asking me to do, I didn't have to go anywhere to do them, and it was fun. It was good fun, and you always make the sessions really fun as well.
We have a right little yarn, don't we? We have a lovely chit chat. Beautiful. While making progress, I must admit. Amazing. So I kind of wrote down a little list of all the things that were happening over the last 4 weeks. And you've been, so I'm just going to kind of go off by what I've been writing down. You've been keeping up with the juicing routine, and I know you've mentioned this, but this was quite important to you, was it? And I remember you mentioning how it's just seemed to fall out of your structure, fall out of your day-to-day. And I noticed that you felt so much more energetic, and you were happier and enjoying having that back in your life.
Yeah, because when I gave up coffee a few years ago, I was a real coffee addict, and it just wasn't very good for me. And I noticed that I started green juicing, and it just gave me that zing, like it was the alternative to coffee for me. And yeah, I just let it drop, and I love it. And I love the mindset of as soon as I wake up, to my juicer, and be really dedicated. And my housemates even commented, he's like, wow, you're really good at that stuff. He might juice once a week, but I'm like, every day.
Yeah. And it's just little things like bringing the things that you already know into play again, and having that accountability to follow through with that as well. Beautiful. So yeah, of course, your increase of sleep. I remember you texting me saying I've had 2 7 hours and 1 9 hour sleep. This is a win.
I think that was after week 1. I think we got that on week 1, actually, wasn't it? It was the first thing you suggested to me.
Absolutely. And I remember talking about a lot of increasing your fats as well. So increasing the food that you're eating. A lot of people will think, oh, well, I don't want to take everything away. When in actual fact, that might not necessarily be true. For you, it was increasing your fat content and creating more of a balanced meal. How did that?
I've been so concerned about fat. You know, I was like, right, no processed stuff, no almond butter, no avocado, no, you know, keep it limited. And then, but then I was snacking, and I told you I was getting hungry by 11. And it's like you were just saying, you know, a little bit of fat with every meal, and it worked. I don't snack anymore. A bit of a fib. I had some Brazil nuts just before I got on, but I didn't. But usually, I'm not snacking, and also when I am snacking, I'm not reaching for, you know, the chocolate. Because actually, I'm full. I'm feeling good.
Amazing. That's beautiful. And yeah, increasing the protein. And I guess kind of we broke down a little bit that mindset of fats. You know, I need more, I need to cut out fats and I need more protein. I feel like we were able to create a balance there and create more balanced meals, like you said, to keep you satiated for longer and not necessarily need to snack in between.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I wrote down here that you encouraged your housemate and your friends to jump on the bandwagon as well. And how beautiful is that? You even mentioned to me about how your friend said, have you lost weight? And you're like, well, thank you.
I don't think I have. Like, I'm just happier with my shape.
Yeah.
And I've changed shape, I think, but I don't think I've lost actual number weight because I don't think I need to. I think it's just things needed to readjust a bit, and my mindset needed to readjust.
Absolutely. And for a lot of people, I just tell them to throw away the scales because the scales just create more of a mental cycle that you get stuck in, right? Yeah. When I was at my most uncomfortable versus when I was at my most comfortable, it's about 1 or 2 kilos difference, but it's where it sits. It's what it is in the body. So that's incredible that you get to feel and that you feel comfortable in your pants, in your trousers, in your day-to-day, in your beautiful, stunning outfits that you wear for your talks as well. And of course, who doesn't want an increased confidence to go with that, right?
And I noticed that I had that idea that you know, losing weight would make me happier. It was actually because I'm more in control of what I'm eating. I just feel really empowered in it, or you know, so I am happier. Yeah. So it feels like I don't need to make, you know, I don't need to spend hours and hours at the gym, you know.
Yeah.
Like just a little 20-minute cardios, regular yoga, regular cycling.
Yeah, absolutely. And we increase that exercise as well, but not to a substantial amount. How was that for you?
Really doable, really fitted in. Because, you know, I remember thinking, oh God, if I spend 3 days down the gym, you know, and I enjoyed it.
Amazing. I mean, I've literally got a whole list of wins that I compiled from every session that we had together, and that was only 4. And this list is incredible, and I can't actually fit it on my screen. So no, I'm super happy. You've made some amazing wins. You've changed your outlook, like you said, like your bags have gone. You have so much more energy and life in you from 4 weeks ago. That was just.
And do you know what? I've just started dating a CrossFit guy as well, and he's super fit, but fitter than me. I've just got this confidence, you know. So
love it. Amazing. Well, go you. Well done, Jem. Thank you so much. I think that's going to be it for the testimony. So thank you so much, Jem. I really appreciate that. We'll carry on talking, but I'll stop.
Deep gratitude, Bianca. Thank you. You're brilliant.
You're most welcome.